45 degrees was the best angle to produce capacitive electricity in my pyramid. With V.13 you will see it doesn't really matter, because now we get energy in a kind we didn't have with V.6, but the design is absolutely without any ancient idea. So I used all the modern materials, and I tried to leave the street from the ancient story. I hope you're not angry because I'm doing this, but it doesn't make any sense if you want to pray to the people, if you want to tell them something, they will not believe it. And I'm sure 99.8% of you, of all the visitors in this moment, will not believe the story I will show you today too. But it's not my problem. You can prove it and you can try it. Well, all we do here is a one-day project. So maybe you will see it today in the morning. I started to produce the pyramid. Of course, the pyramid construction, it's still ready. But I want to show you, if you have some metal construction with gypsum plates, you can make in one day. In one day, absolutely clean and easy, you can make in one day the first production of energy. Well, meanwhile, the two-component glue should be hard, and we go to the next step. We make a small condensator to run our pyramid. To return and to ask, to give answers for the possible questions, what did we do now? We made a coil in a small copper tube. We kept this in a greater copper tube. We filled quartz sand inside. We closed it and we glued it. And the trick on all this thing is, part number one, the most important thing is, you have to put in the quartz sand either under high voltage or under high frequency and high voltage in mix. And you can believe me, the not so dangerous way to put the quartz sand inside is with an old CB transmitter. I did some greater pyramids experiments only with 25, 28, 19 kilovolts. It's a little bit dangerous, so I got some stroke for an instant, and you can believe me, the day was gone for me. I didn't have any joke on the same day, so it's a little bit harmful to do this. When we connect everything, you have to keep care too, because you will see if there is no load on your coil, you will get voltage about 300, 400, 450 volts. So it could be a little bit dangerous to handle the pyramid if you transport it, if you put it on your area where you want to have it. In this case, it's very important to make a small resistor, a very powerful resistor with a few watts. And it's very important to shorten all the contacts. If you work on the pyramid, if you do anything on the pyramid, if you move it, so you're every time on the secured side if you short fuse it. And we will show it in the next part. But there's another idea I have to tell you. Maybe you can remember to the videos at 2006 and 2007. You saw plenty of things with magnets, and you saw everything a little bit complicated with salt water and so on. Well, I can say it true, it was a little bit a cheat inside, because I had some security problems in this time. And of course, after I sold the whole idea, I had the problem, it wasn't allowed for me to say anything about the system. But the people, they were very aggressive to me to tell them something. And so I did. I gave them some hints that they have something to think and something to do. And the result you saw. One of the best ideas, for example, was my security, my small security inside with the magnet. So all the clever people in these times, they knew there is no magnet necessary. But I saw videos with old man showing the function of my pyramid with magnets, and I was very impressed because it's an easy trick to see who is a fake and who is not a fake. And you can believe me, with a magnet you cannot do anything inside the pyramid. And yes, some readers thought there could be connected a read contact, and that's all. That was the trick. There was only a read contact inside the copper tube, and with the read contact I had to open or to close the circuit. So the pyramid produced energy before too, but there was no output on the wires because the read contact was open. And this was a little bit security for me to find out who is cheating me, because I had plenty of contacts that told me, I have the pyramids 4.5 meters, I make 600 volts, and you cannot believe what happened. And it was a very hard time. So it was for me a very great problem too. Whom can I trust, and where are the people which are okay? Where are the leechers? Where are the collectors? And you said on the first line, you saw it. There were plenty of people not really friendly, and there are some guys out there. They have only one job: to find cheats everywhere. But it's incredible. These are the guys that never took any tools in their hands, that never spreaded information to others. They only make bad and terrible noise. And to these guys I want to say one sentence. It would be better if you make your hands a little bit dirty, walk into a shack and make something. Maybe it's a foolish idea, but maybe you find something nobody knows before. But only sitting on the computer and making bad wins, it's nothing which brings us all together a little bit forward. And please, ladies and gentlemen, think to Fukushima. It was one of the major things why I decided to spread my idea now, because we cannot wait for the next 2 or 3 Fukushimas. And please believe me, the Japanese people, I know them personally. The Japanese people, they are very, very, very wonderful people. They have a really good technology. They have a mentality. They are workers, real fine workers. And if some catastrophic accident will happen in Japan, you can believe me, in all the other countries with not this technology standard, there will be worst, if it will happen. And if I think now to all the East countries with atomic reactors, there are some evenings I cannot sleep very well, because we are now in the last area we will destroy the planet. You can believe it, you can see it, you can look out of the window. I'm living in Austria. I'm living 25 kilometers northeast from Mozartown, Salzburg. We got some twisters here now in Austria. Nobody knows a twister in all the history before. The weather is changing, everything is changing. Whole Europe is collapsing. Thank you to Greece. It's absolutely difficult in the time now. And now it's really time to do something. I invite you to do something. You can try this, you can spread this, and as I told you, you can do with the invention what you want. Well, but now we spoke enough. Let's work together for the final part, because now it's 2 o'clock p.m. I want to produce energy this evening. I hope the weather is okay outside. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are only a few parts away from producing a little bit energy. Well, what did we do now? You see the completed reactor casing. I didn't took on video to make insulation tape on the other side of my little reactor, but I think your fantasy will be enough to know how to make a little bit insulation tape on this side too. And now we have the small tube, and now we need the next material, and it's also a very easy step, because for the next step we need a little piece of plastic tube. And there is not only a plastic tube, sorry, I have to watch what you can see. So, there is not only a little bit of plastic tube, it has a diameter, I can say it here straight, 40 millimeters, 4 centimeters. And this is some kind of tube from swimming pools. It's not a very complicated material. You will get it in every hardware store in your country too. And what do we have next? We have, don't know the name in English, but it's an end piece, a piece to keep the tube silent. Well, what are we doing now? We have here 20 millimeters, you know, and we have the double dimensions in the plastic tube. What we make now, I say it very shortly, we will make the copper tube inside in the center of the plastic tube, and on the plastic tube we will make the same amount of windings that we had into the copper tube. Remember, in the copper tube we had 97 windings, so we will make 97 windings here too. The end piece is only for the mounting on the end, so we don't need it now. But what we can do, we can mark the position of the cap, that we know the right moment, the right point where we can start with the winding. Well, if we took the winding inside the copper tube counterwise, we have to do it outside too. It will not work if you change the winding direction inside and outside. I don't know why, but it's fact. I think you can imagine how to make a winding. So I will make this winding and I will be back on video, because I have the problem that we have meanwhile a little bit more than 1 hour. I don't know if we can spread that all at YouTube in one file, and I don't want to make too much files. Well, now we have a little accident because my wire was too small, too short. Now we have 84 windings, but we need 97. It's a good possibility to show you how to fix such problems. Please don't smile, but I will weld these two pieces together to get hopefully the right amount of windings. Of course, I have plenty of wires in difficult colors here, but I'm a poor man. I want to save my resources because I need the material for other pyramids, for other dimensions, and so we will trick. And for all, it's a good thing to control if this will affect the effect. Okay, now the wires are soldered together. I don't want to isolate it now because maybe we can try something. So maybe I can make a grip down point to check the missing. So we have 84 and we need 97. Let's go ahead. After we wind it, it's very important to fix the whole coil with insulation tape, because I found out this outside coil should not be able to swing. So if you don't fix it, you get the problem that you produce thermal temperature. Not heat, but a few degrees, 2 or 3 degrees. It's every time warmer than the outside environment. And I found out if you